Hello, Falcon fans. Welcome to another edition of BG Falcon Hockey Weekly. Ryan Vallon here with head coach Chris Bergeron. Well, Coach, we'll start on the Friday night game against Alaska Anchorage. It was a long flight to get there, and the team maybe did not come out the way they wanted to. Still a shutout, but the tie 0-0.
Yeah, not a great game. Probably over the course of 10 games at the time, our poorest effort. I do not want to take anything away from Anchorage. I mean, they played really hard. They beat us to every puck. They played faster than we did, and that caused us problems. If not for Eric Dopp, we have a loss. It's just that simple. But from our perspective, just not playing the game to the identity of what this team has established itself to be, and that's something we tried to rectify for Saturday. But it was a disappointing night, Friday night.
24 hours later, your team completed the shutout weekend as it was by defeating the Seawolves 3-0. This time Ryan Bednar was in the net. We'll get to Eric Dopp in just a couple of seconds, but the team played a lot better. It was almost like a complete 180, and they finally scored a goal on the power play as well.
Yeah, I liked our effort on Saturday. Now, it had been, and I know you know this, it had been 2 games in 5 minutes that we hadn't scored a goal. With the last home game we had played, we lost to Northern 2-0, so we needed to break that goose egg and score, and we were able to score a couple in the first period, and we had one that I thought Casey had scored that didn't go into. It almost felt like we had 3 in the first period, but to get a couple of goals and especially one in the power play really helped. But I think Saturday night began and ended with our effort. Our effort was much better, which led to intensity, which led to relentlessness, which led to skating, which ultimately led to a good win for us.
Now, one of those spectacular sophomores, as we often call them on the broadcast, Connor Ford this time came out on top, and he almost scored the hat trick on that Saturday night game. The clock got to him, that's what it was. But yeah, Connor Ford came out and scored 2 huge goals for you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, Connor had a good game. I got after him a little bit for one of his shifts in the first period, and as great kids do, in my opinion, is I'll show you, coach, if you're going to get after me. And he went out and scored a couple of goals. I think overall he had a good game. He's a kid that's capable, and sometimes he gets overshadowed a little bit when you're talking about Cruz and Johnson and those kind of things. But he's been a contributor for us from start to finish of this year, and it was nice to see him get rewarded on Saturday.
And the other individual I want to talk about is Eric Dopp. He was named WCHA Goaltender of the Week. And this time it was Eric Dopp coming in. Unfortunately, his parents are not able to come out there. They're missed layovers and stuff like that. It's crazy. But Dopp comes in, plays really well in his second game of action this year. And he definitely earned the start, and just unfortunately the team in front of him were not able to get him the full victory. Yeah,
and his 2 starts this year, unfortunately the team in front of him hadn't played great, and hasn't played great. I think he's played really well. Now, from a coaching staff perspective, we wanted to get Eric in a game. It had been a month since he started, and a lot of that is because of how well Ryan has played. I mean, that's just reality. At that position, only one guy can play, and Ryan's been really good. So we get Eric a start, and he was on it. I mean, he had a couple of tough rebounds early in the game, but overall he really played well, and he gave us a chance to win that game, which is what we expect from our goaltending. And I'm really proud of him. I mean, he hasn't taken his foot off the gas. Basically, as he's been Ryan's backup, and he earned a start with the way he's been in practice, and he takes advantage of a start, so good for him.
Well, your team completed the shutout weekend over UAA, and they left the Seawolves finding for answers on bus 142 going up the Stampede Trail, if it will. And now we'll move up to this weekend coming up, which is Lake Superior State, and they're coming into the Madhouse on Mercer this weekend. What is to come this weekend against Lake State?
I think it's a hard-fought WCHA series. I mean, the last series we played at home was Northern Michigan, and I think it's going to be very similar to that. They've got some really good players at all 3 positions. Their top people are people that can really hurt you, whether it be 5-on-5 or 5-on-4. Their power play is north of 20%, which is really good. It's a team that creates a lot of problems for their opponents, and I think we've established a rivalry. There's been a rivalry with Lake Superior State and Bowling Green over the course of years with the CCHA, the two really strong programs. Now with the WCHA, as we moved over, that rivalry, as far as I'm concerned, has continued, and we've played them in playoff series, we played them in regular season series, and I'm expecting this to be a hard-fought Lake Superior State Bowling Green series, and we're going to have to be disciplined with our actions because we can't put that dangerous power play out there. We're going to have to be disciplined with our game plan because they do have guys that'll take advantage of undisciplined play and turning pucks over and whatever. And we're going to have to be we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to be real competitive and ready to go come Friday.
Well, the rivalry will continue this weekend. Pregame will start at 7:07 on Friday and 6:37 p.m. on Saturday on the Falcon Radio Network and also on Full Hockey TV. Coach, thank you very much for sitting down with me. And we'll talk to you next week on the next segment of BG Falcon Hockey Weekly. Talk to you then.